हेलो हेलो तोरी buddies, how are you doing? So जब कि आज मैं इतने अच्छे से रेडी हुई हूँ तो आई थॉट why not utilize it to make another video. इतनी जल्दी इसको जाके अभी मेरे को उतार देना होगा. So yeah, I thought let's make a video about so many questions. Like you guys are texting me on Instagram, like the questions have been repeated. Everyone is asking me individually the same questions. सो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आई एम मेकिंग दीज इंफॉर्मेटिव वीडियोज़ एंड उसमें मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स आई एम आंसरिंग देयर एंड इवन नॉट यू गाइज आर कमेंटिंग एंड so please check out the comment section. People have already asked the same questions which you are like directly messaging me on IG. So if you go through the comment section, you can easily clear your doubt. And if the questions are different, you can definitely comment there. Okay? So let's get started with your questions. Let's go with question number one. हाँ तो मैंने what I have done is sorted out few questions. I'm not gonna answer all those questions, but which are most important for you to know. Okay, so question number one goes like, hey Anuradha, great video. So master people can work part-time job after getting their ARC. Okay. So I for this I have already make a separate video on part-time jobs. So please go and check out that video because of course most of your doubts would be clear there, how to apply for part-time jobs and all. And answering to this question is of course you can do part-time job after you make your ARC, and if you are student then only you can do the part-time job. Yeah, so without making a work permit you cannot work here. Okay, so moving on to question number two. Hello ma'am, please tell me which university is good for language program जो मुझे scholarship भी दे सके for upcoming intake. So guys, some of your research has to be done by yourself. Like I wouldn't put everything, each and everything for you here. मुझे नहीं पता है कि व्हाट्स योर क्राइटेरिया फॉर एनरोलिंग एंड व्हाट यू आर लुकिंग स्पेसिफिकली फॉर. तो इफ़ यू आर एनरोलिंग फॉर लैंग्वेज प्रोग्राम उसके लिए आपको डिफरेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ देखने पड़ेंगे. सो आई एम थिंकिंग ऑफ मेकिंग अ सेपरेट वीडियो ऑन द लैंग्वेज प्रोग्राम्स इन ताइवान. एंड अगर आप मेजर जो सेमीकंडक्टर इंजीनियरिंग या नॉर्मल साइंस बैकग्राउंड के कोर्सेज में आना चाह रहे हैं तो उसके लिए ऑफ कोर्स आई हैव ऑलरेडी मेड अ वीडियो ऑफ हाउ टू डू मास्टर्स एंड PhD इन ताइवान, सो डू check out that video. Oh, and yes, I know most of you people have asked me to make videos in Hindi, but I guess India is a very big country and people come from each and every part of India, and everyone doesn't know the language Hindi. So I'm making it for everyone so that you can get benefited and understand in a easier language, which is English. And yeah, that's all. So moving on to question number three is, hi Tori, I'm looking for a business meeting, business visa, but people told me that it is difficult to get multiple entry visas for Taiwan. Is that true? Yes. So for visitor visa, like if you're coming for a business meeting, you will definitely get a visitor visa, not a resident visa. So depending on the purpose, as I mentioned before, yeah, your entry is decided by the visa offices. Okay, so next question number four is, BSc इंडिया में 3 साल की होती एंड ताइवान में तो 4 साल की, तो कोई MSc करेगा. Okay, that's tutti frutti Hindi. I understood the question. So it's actually, yes, in India we do BSc for 3 years and BTech is for 4 years. You have a doubt that should we apply to Taiwan for MSc? Will they consider it or not? So my answer for this would be, you can at least like try applying it. Whether they're considering or not, then you can realize it. First, make your applications and do it. Why are you thinking so much whether they will accept or not? But I guess they'll accept it. They wouldn't see that is it 3 years or 4 years, something like this. They just see your graduation, bachelor graduation certificate. That's all. Next, number five. Hi Dori, may I know if we need to declare items in our check-in baggage such as medicines, meat pickles, appliances, okay, in which all those are allowed in cabin bag? Please reply. Okay, I've already replied this on the comment section, but this is very important to know that you cannot bring any meat items from your home country. This is strictly banned in Taiwan. Either they will ask you to throw it away or give you a fine, because this is strictly banned. As well as, don't keep any food items in your cabin bag, because for that, they will ask you to open your bag and declare all the items, whether it is snacks or something, if it is not in a sealed packet. But if you're keeping it in the check-in baggage, that is your like a big bag, so it won't be any issue. But don't bring any meat items. Yes, you can definitely bring pickles, but make it a sealable and put it in your check-in bag. Don't put it in this bag. But whereas, which is your battery kinds of items, जिसमें you have to use a battery or electronic appliances, वो you can keep it in the cabin bag, because that time you can just open it and show it to them. You cannot keep those items in your check-in bag. So remember to go on your एयरप्लेन क्या बोलते हैं उसके वेबसाइट में एंड रीड इट थॉरली कि कौन सा आइटम्स अलाउड है नहीं अलाउड है. Okay, so you can bring sweets and snacks for the items. That's completely fine. In the cabin bag. Yes, in the cabin bag, you can bring those, and that's completely okay. Okay, so coming on to question number 6 is, आप कितना weight का luggage और कितना how many luggage you can carry to Taiwan, ticket price, please reply soon. So that depends which airlines you are booking. So for Taiwan, there are multiple airlines like Thai Airways, Singapore Airlines, Cathay Pacific, Air Asia. So it depends which क्या बोलते हो ticket you are booking, economy class or flexi. If you like, for me, I generally use Thai Airways. So in the beginning, Thai Airways has in the economy 30 kgs, but now it has reduced to just 20 kg or 25 kg. But if you take flexi, where you have to pay a little bit more and you get 30 kg for the baggage allowances, and the ticket price generally it varies from place to place. Like if you take from Chennai, of course it would be a little bit cheaper than from my place, that's Kolkata. Or Delhi se loge to bhi, I guess it is considered cheaper. Now I'm talking about the Thai Airways. AirAsia is much more cheaper than that. So ये सारे airlines I have already said all the names, so you can go and find out. Google कर लो यार, ये छोटी छोटी चीजें ऐसे पूछ लेते हो. It's a simple thing, जानना चाहिए. Okay, next question number 7 is, can you clear me about MOA in India and how to go? Okay, so that's not MOA, that's MEA, is Ministry of External Affairs. So that's, I've already mentioned in my visa video. Like that's in 4 places. So that's in Chennai, Kolkata, Delhi, and the new one has, oh, no. The new one has opened in, no, that is TECC, right? Oh, Ministry of External Affairs has been opened in Mumbai also. So now you have 4 places. अब आप कहाँ पे हो? From there you can go to MEA by yourself, और आप दिल्ली तो आओगे ही वीज़ा बनवाने, तो आप वहाँ पे भी स्टैंप लगा सकते हो. From Delhi, you can put a stamp on your certificate, on your medical certificate from Delhi. So I've said 4 places MEA. So I don't know where are you residing, in Gujarat or Rajasthan or Arunachal Pradesh, because if you're staying in East, you have to come to Kolkata, West Bengal for MEA, or directly go to Delhi. So yeah. बहुत सारे questions है. Number 8 is, hello madam, I don't have my original certificate of graduation as our convocation is not held yet, but I have the provisional one, so I will only get visitor visa. So will I able to stay at the university dorm or rent a place, or do I have to stay in hotels for 180 days? Would you please elaborate on this topic? I'm a bit concerned and confused. Okay, so let me say it clearly. If you don't have original certificate, I know in India we get a little bit later, so you can enter Taiwan on a provisional certificate. अब वो provisional certificate you get a entry visa, that is a tourist visa for 180 days. After staying here, after you get the certificate from your hometown, ask your parents to send it to Taiwan after the attestation, and fir you have to apply again for the resident visa in Taiwan itself. You don't have to go to India. You can apply from here and change from the visitor visa to resident visa. Clear? Now, whether you're coming for visitor visa or resident visa, if you got selected as a student, the university will give you dorm facility. It doesn't have to do anything with the visa, like a visitor visa or resident visa. So if you have chosen that you will stay inside a dormitory, your university will provide you with the dorm. If you chose to stay outside, it's up to you where you decide to stay. So no confusion, great combination. थक गई मैं बोलते बोलते. Okay, next, number 9. This is my job. Okay, yes. All right, so question number 9. Hello, I recently got admitted to NDHU. Please make a video on how to navigate transportation from airport, how to obtain a SIM card, create a bank account. It will be more helpful. Also, I need to learn Mandarin before coming. Okay, so guys, इंसान हूँ मैं. I'm a human being. I can't go to every university and make a video of that. I'm making all the essential stuff like which you gonna need it. Like NDHU is very far from Taipei and Hsinchu, so it's like until unless I don't have any work, I wouldn't go there, right? So ये मेरे लिए कर पाना थोड़ा impossible है. तो ऐसे question please मत पूछा कीजिए. I don't like to say no. Okay, so now coming back to the general thing, transportation, कैसे आना है from airport to your university, what SIM to take. Already made a video that 5 things you need to know before coming to Taiwan. Go and check out that video. Very, very helpful. That's it. Moving on to question number 10. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Mandarin is necessary or not? So, of course, if you know a little bit, it will be helpful, right? So, don't think like manageable or not. देखो हम नहीं learn करके भी हमने इतने साल चला लिए हैं. तो you can also make it work. But don't do this. It's not a good thing. Learn the language. Okay. Do dorms typically have a mess? What's their approximate cost? I'm assuming there would be a common kitchen. I have seen on Google Photos and university web, etc., in dorms with basic utilities like rice boiler, a microwave oven. Not sure how those gets cleaned, etc. Okay. So, yeah, it depends university to university if they're willing to provide kitchen or not. And generally, if you have seen in the Google pictures or in a web of your university website, so might be the old one. So before, when there were less international students, they used to provide kitchen. But now the number of international students has increased.
So there is a huge tutu meme between the different international people, and they keep the kitchen clean, they keep the kitchen unclean, and they fight among themselves that we didn't do it, you didn't do it, she didn't do it, he didn't do it.
Not many university provides like, okay, I'll talk about my university NDUT. They did not provide like a complete kitchen. They just have like a microwave heating instrument, that's it, and a freezer to keep your stuff. That's it. But we were not allowed to use induction, we were not allowed to use rice cooker over there. So that was the strictness. And again, after 2 to 3 months, they used to close it by saying that it will be cleaned or something. But huge you will have a huge problem, like where will you store your food when you feel hungry at night or something, like where will you store your snacks? So don't depend on university. Sometimes they provide in the dormitory, but I'm not sure they are okay. Like in NTUST also, once I heard when one of my friend used to stay there that they opened the kitchen, but there were some conflicts between the Indonesian and the Indian people, so they closed it. So you can't depend on that, and that's the reason we look for accommodation outside so that we can cook and eat. Yeah. Aki stays in NYCU, so he told me that in the male dormitory only they have provided kitchen, but in a female dormitory and other dormitories, they don't have kitchen. So you can keep your own stuff like rice cooker or your preparing stuff, and you can keep your own fridge inside your room. That's like allowed here. You can buy a mini fridge for yourself and keep it personally. That's the situation for the male dormitory in NYCU. I don't know about the other one. It's really a long video, and 10 questions is quite enough for now. So of course I have more list of questions, but if you want me to make another FAQ video, so comment that in our comment section that we need part 2 of the FAQ. If this video is helping you, so don't forget to give a like, don't forget to make don't forget to subscribe our channel, and don't forget to make your family subscribe our channel, because yes, this will give us more enthusiasm. As the number of subscribers increase, तो हम और ज़्यादा videos बनाएंगे. And if anyone is asking you, oh, what to do in Taiwan or where to do, just forward us our video. That also helps us a lot. And yeah, then see you. Have a good day.